I'm up with the crowing roosters this morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning where I'm at right now. I'm sitting here contemplating this data that we were given yesterday that was prepared by Rick Allen's defense. This is requesting a Frank order, which Frank's, when I understand, this is something this is a no bullshit kind of thing. You really got to show it with some receipts. So the attorneys for Richard Allen have created this 136-page document. I call it a fiction narrative is what I call it. But, it's their right. Of course, it's the thing that I understand about what's going on here is that Richard Allen, by and large, has not been considered innocent until proven guilty. Richard Allen was basically convicted, the moment he was arrested. In fact, anything at all that would look like this, to any of us, specifically out here in YouTubeasphere, we would convict his ass right now. Well, of course, 2 hours later, it'd be like something, no, here's refuting evidence, but we've already hung him. Yes, we got lost. Your family was too fucking bad for you. All I can say. Yes, we got lost. Your family was. But anyway, so I'm just ingesting this thing. I have printed out, like I said, I got front and back, 136 pages. I've looked through some of it. There were some remarkable things that stood out to me. I just got my highlighter real quick and went through and did some speed reading. I guess that's what you call it. So there's 136 pages, and of course, a lot of it, at the beginning of each little narrative part, there is that little crazy part where it's like, well, blah 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 blah. But then, there's some stuff inside of there that's new, that's relevant. A lot of it's just filler. I know how these papers are, man. Come on, he just wants to, make it look thick, and he can't just give it all to you in like those 4 lines that it would actually take to say what the motherfucker wants to say. Just give me the red letters. That's what it is. Just tell me the important shit. And I went through and I highlighted yellow some things. And of course I was, one of the things at the very beginning of, there was this list of 100 things or what have you that tell you why little Ricky wasn't able to do it. He says he's only 5 foot poor. He's just a little baby. Oh, he's just a he can't do nothing to hurt those girls. Those girls. Oh, he did not hurt those girls. Those girls. There was still a... Odinism came along for somebody else and hurt those girls. Yes. That's what I'm reading from it.
It's bullshit. It's like this is just a way to battle Ricky some time.
Because they knew there's some shit going to happen on the anniversary. It always does with these cases. I'm telling you, there's something going to happen on most cases. May not be this year, next year. It's going to be this year, though, probably. Probably because of this. They're just speeding it along. Who knows what's going to happen with this? I'm confused.
Maybe, the conspiratorial part of my brain is confused.
Because I want to be able... to just tie this up and get this shit over with. But these lawyers and Rick Allen is playing upon all of us. They they throw out these fantastical things. And even if it's horseshit, it looks like it's not, And everybody's, la, 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 la. Well, I'm doing it right now. La, 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 la. Keep my mouth shut. But this thing is about to drive me nuts.
Come on.
We got a pig. Let's stab him. And like somebody's like, no, don't stab the pig yet. This may be the wrong pig.
You're stabbing the wrong pig.
You're stabbing the wrong pig. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong pig. So anyway, maybe it is something to do. Maybe it is something to do with something that's real. But my first question would be who else what other kind of initiation things have this group done? And where are the victims? Has there been prosecutions over there? Is this the first person that in Odin we trust that's ever been arrested for something like this? Is it big? Could this just have fell under the radar? I don't know. That's questions. Listening to it, this channel here outside of the grid, we've covered 2 or 3 things on the esoteric to do with this thing, revolving around Odinism, I guess you could call it. I've never heard it called that before. It's because that's giving it legitimacy, To me, it would be, people it's a culture. It's an ancient culture. And, it was a way of thinking that was produced by something that you don't have now. So maybe there's a lot of cultural components, a lot of geographic components, a lot of things going on that they had there that you don't have here, maybe. Maybe you do, I don't know. Maybe it's like neo-Odinism or something. It was definitely not Odinism, because you cannot have Odinism outside of where Odinism was at, which was a pretty big area, but it was a long time ago, and it's a lot of mythology, associated with it. It's like Greek mythology. It's just, Western mythology. That's what I would call it. Northern Europe, paganism. It was what the Christians hated when they got there. It was like, I tell you right now, you fellas got some weird ways of doing things. Let me show you my way of doing it. And like, okay, well, your way's weird too. It's like, you're going to do my way, or I'm going to put a boot on your head and I'm going to squash it down into the ground, buddy. That's what happens, with that. That's what happened with it. And it was kept, some people kept it, and they put other things on top of it, but they kept some of it, people kept it. And other people, have learned about it. And maybe there's this, but I think that whoever is, if there is a national body of some sort that represents that, some kind of academia or something, I hope they stand up, because this is, they can't, because this thing is quote unquote infiltrated with white nationalists. So now, we have Donald Trump and Rick Allen on trial due to white nationalists. That's what what they're both saying. It was their fault, man. They did it. I didn't do it. I just peacefully said they went and did it. So it's a strange world, It's like it's the time of reckoning. I don't know. That's what a lot of people say. It's the time of reckoning. I've heard it said this is the time of reckoning. Began several years ago. It's like a certain percentage of people said, all right, now I'm gonna do what I want to do, and this is what it's going to be, and because I'm this, that, and the other said, well, you can do what you want to do, but you're not this, that, and the other. In fact, you're something totally different. You may not be doing exactly what you want to do. You're going to be doing it with some whatever. And then we've got into this evil, good versus evil, and I don't know which one is good, and I don't know which is evil. You just listen to each one of them's narratives. Of course, you really can't tell right now, because a lot of information it hasn't come out. We don't know. We don't know what went on. We hadn't heard about Rick Allen's day or week at that time. We're just hearing these big ideas being thrown out. And of course, this is interesting. This is a way to say that procedure was not followed, that there were people gunning for him without proper evidence. And this is taking a whack. This is like saying, hey man, show me what you really got. But I will also say this too: the sentence that in there, this is very close to the front of it. There, it says the way that DNA is used. It's like there's none of that, But it didn't say it was none of that. Because it was a very ambiguous sentence. Maybe there's room for ambiguity in that sentence. At any rate, so I'm going to go through today, and I'm going to, I've got some things I want to do, but I also want to read through more to see what's going on. This is interesting. This gives people something else to talk about with this case. This is a case that a lot of us have followed for years and years, and it's so weird watching the actual sausage making. I mean, I watched a bunch of true crime stories over the years, and they were all just synopsized into something very short, slim, and quick. But this one is not, because we're watching it unfold right now. This is big. This is one of the ones that'll be kept around forever. I mean, and it's looking like that. I mean, this is what they call a torrid affair. I mean, this is some crazy shit going on, man. Everybody's dress in town has got looked up. And I'm assuming everybody wears dresses, man and female. You know, just to say, you look up under your dress right there and see what you had. You got any fentanyl in your anus? I hope not. Would not be good for you. If it leaks through, you may be dead real quick unless somebody's got 28 gallons of Narcan to squirt on you. Anyway, I still stick to this thing. I'm a hardcore lone wolf, crazy fucker named Richard Allen walked out there one afternoon, and he was fucked up. Probably was living alone at the time. His wife was over spending time with her mother or what have you. And he had some free time there. It's probably, job challenges, wasn't making the money he needed. Who knows what could have happened? It was February, and who knows what could have happened at a bar. He may be pissed off his wife beating him at a game. Some dude flirted with her, whatever it was. And he was in a bad place. Fucked up, drunk, high, whatever. I don't know what the dude does. I think he's a drinker. You can look at that boy right there and tell he's a drinker. Well, anyway, so he was drinking, and I was just drinking. And then here comes these fucking girls. That's just him talking. Messing with his day. They did something. He didn't like what they did and corrected them. They smarted off to him, or they caught him pissing and leaned up against a tree or something, laughed at him or something. Sitting there smoking, leaned up against a tree, pointed backwards out toward the world, smoking a cigarette so he could pee and drink. And there's the girls. Then again, he's carrying a lot of shit. A lot of people said it could have been, it was going to be a suicide, and he'd been reading about Odin. You don't know what this motherfucker's been reading about. We ain't looked at those books yet. We may see McClellan and say, well, here's his books. That's what I was wondering. What, is that Odin listed books? I've mentioned it on the channel. I was like, what are those stacks of little books he got? Is that little synopsis books of religion or something? Or is it just, photos of the girls, little photo books? What is those little books? Well, if it comes back out and, it's, well, here's the deal. If there is a big staging of a scene, it is to throw people off. And of course, if little Ricky, if he knew that everybody, I'm 5'4", I couldn't hurt nobody, doctor. Judge. Daddy. Anyway, staging is something to do whenever you want people to not know it's you. And he can hear about it. I hear about the shit all the time about what goes on in my neighborhood. I hear about everything. Of course, if I were going to do something bad, and I can't even comprehend killing two little girls, and then spending an hour and 45 minutes or so, hour and 45 minutes. He can get it through there. It's a mile. I heard him say, well, they only had an hour and 17 minutes. Horse shit. Little Ricky, like little Brad, could stroll over there 1 mile to that car in less than about 6 minutes. That's walking. So you're accounting for a lot of fucking time. And whenever you're anxious and upset and you're running and you're scared or you're worried and you want to distance yourself from something, whatever the fuck it is, whether it be your dropped candy bar or whatever, you're going to be intense and you're going to be flowing. You're going to be getting over there very, very, very quick. So here's my deal. Lone Wolf, Mr. Richard Allen, was out there. He was fucked up. Girls, some kind of interaction had. He's already fucking loaded up. They say some shit. It gets crazy. They wind up dead. He's like, oh shit, what the fuck did I do? What the fuck? I gotta make this not. I know what. There's all these Odinism things around here. I've looked at it. I've heard of people talking about it. So I just throw some shit on here and put this there and that and the other, and I'm done with it. Well, anyway, that's my opinion right now. I'll have to check in later and tell you if that's the truth or not. I'm sure you can let me know what you feel. Over and out. Actually, I'm up a little bit later than normal. But I woke up earlier than normal. I went back to bed and slept later than normal. But anyway, this huge data leak. I don't want to read contextual things about the lawyers, you know. I don't want to read the things at the front and the back of the front and the end of Jesus's on the Mount speech. You know, it's like, well, you know, and they come along and slap their bodies, bitches in the head, and everybody got on the ground because, you know, whooped their ass. And then he said, you know, turn your other cheek, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, it's like, oh, I told you, bitches, you fuck around with Jesus, and Jesus come back and fuck you up. So, like, you just see what monks added on wet days to something that was already a beautiful passage, you know. Not the same writer. But then again, it could be some of that bullshit that, you know, Kagan Klein and Tony Klein bullshit. Well, there was two different people. Two different people. It was him talking shit to his buddies, maybe, and then him talking shit or being mean to one, and you know, kissing up on another one, you know, or something. Split personalities. I'll tell you right now, Brad Barfield, this is who you were talking to. Now you're talking to Antonio Andropov. And my name is Jose Andropov. I'm Antonio's little brother. I don't know what you might say to me. I'm right from England. I'm on the southeast of England. And I have a great time enjoying time with all my friends, my mates. So give me a pint, some vitamins, and get out of my fucking way. But anyway, so they got this thing going on, and I get it. Okay, let's go back to what I've read with this document. Like I said, I kind of go off on multiple personalities here for a second. You have to excuse me. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but this is what happens sometimes with Antonio.